When the person that you leave is standing up and defending you, that goes to show that people on the outside that's talking smack don't know shit. BBN, Jack Frost. What's up, party people? Alright, so actually I want to lead this off. We're talking about the trade between San Antonio Spurs, Toronto Raptors for DeMar DeRozan. The principals were DeMar DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard. And I just want to say this. I mentioned it like offhandedly in the previous video about this. Just offhandedly I mentioned it. I say, yo, Kawhi might not even play for them. He might sit out the season. Guess what? Kawhi might not even play for them. He might sit out the season. Because I don't think people get it. I don't think people really get what Kawhi Leonard is saying. Kawhi Leonard was just faced with his own mortality. He was faced with the idea that he might get injured and might not be able to perform to his current capabilities. That something might happen. Kawhi Leonard was injured not by accident. He went up for a jump shot. The guy that was guarding him, in my opinion, purposely stepped under him. So he came down on the guy's foot and injured himself. I think it was done on purpose. I personally think that individual needs to be kicked out of the NBA. It wasn't Timothy Mozgov. It was, I think, the dude at the time was playing for Golden State Warriors. I believe he's on the Cavs last I seen. I forgot his name. He's a big white boy. He's always jumping on people when they're on the floor. All types of different crazy shit. They really need to get this guy out of the NBA. Seriously. I can't remember his name right now. If I recall it before the end of the video, I'll say it. If you just randomly hear me blurt out a name, that's him. So I think that's what happened. I think he came face to face with his own mortality, with the understanding that his physical capabilities, as extraordinary as they are, they're not going to be there forever. And on top of that, some freaking mofo could take it from him by intentionally injuring him. So he doesn't want to play for bullshit. And he doesn't want to play for the Spurs. He wants to start winning chips, and winning chips now. He wants to be in the finals every year. Now, you see, the San Antonio Spurs, there was a couple of things that they can guarantee you. They can guarantee you that you will have the opportunity to be coached by one of the greatest coaches of all time. This is fact. Greg Popovich. They can guarantee you that there's going to be a community family atmosphere. This is fact. With the exception of like Steven Jackson, everybody else that has played there. Actually, I think he says it also, that there's a real family atmosphere. It's like you get the big town, big city perks in a small town. Even though San Antonio isn't a small town, but they're also not, it's not New York, it's not LA, it's not super fast paced. You understand? You could actually smell the flowers when you stop. So these are all things that somebody like a Kawhi Leonard might want. So now, Kawhi Leonard gets traded to the Toronto. Why do I keep calling them MFs Toronto? What have I been watching lately? Oh man, these damn movies. Toronto Raptors. So he goes up there, and from what I'm hearing now, there's a good chance he might not play for them. He might sit out the season. For everybody that's like, oh man, Toronto messed up. No, they didn't. Because all Toronto was trying to do was get their books cleaned out. I said that in the other video. All Toronto was trying to do was get their books cleaned out. They traded DeRozan because they didn't think they could go any further with DeRozan. The opportunity arisen for them to get rid of his contract, and they took advantage of that opportunity. And if that opportunity now means that they're probably going to go into the lottery, wink, wink, because Kawhi Leonard refuses to play, so they might go into the lottery and get a very high draft pick. Wink, wink. They would have successfully. They would have been the first team that I could really think about to successfully tank and it not be their fault. Seriously. Because they might have just tanked on purpose. They might have just tanked the whole entire next season on purpose, and you could blame it on someone other than their management and players. We traded for a guy, he just won't play. He's a great player. He just won't play for us. There's nothing we could do. He says he's hurt. There's nothing we could do. They've just tanked. I mean, I should clap it up for these guys, to be honest with you. But the Knicks haven't did anything that smart or that risky in a while, but that's risky. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. I am so pissed off at sports writers, Stephen A. Smith especially, because this is what I'm talking about. You can't in one breath try to be for black rights, for player rights, and in the next breath, you immediately turn tail and go in the opposite direction. That just creates credibility issues as far as I'm concerned. Kawhi Leonard don't talk. Kawhi Leonard is known as possibly one of the quietest players in any sport. Kawhi Leonard just goes out, does his work in the practices, and then go out on the court and does the best that he can. Period. That's Kawhi Leonard. I don't even think I've ever seen him in more than 2 commercials. I think I've seen him in like 2 commercials ever. The NBA probably forced him to be in them, the commercials. The NBA probably had like some people show up to his crib. He didn't even know he was going to be in a commercial. And they just started filming him through like everyday life. And then one day he was sitting on his couch and was like, oh shit, where that came from? Like seriously. Seriously. Like this guy doesn't even want to, he does no promotion for himself. You understand what I'm saying? So when you try to say that he's a malcontent, because they're trying to say now that he messes up the locker room. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. The guy that doesn't talk to anybody, the guy that minds his business, the guy that shows up to work every day and works when he's not injured, he's messing up your locker room. Are you retarded? Are you retarded? So Greg Popovich had to come straight out and say, yo, look, he had to defend Kawhi Leonard. And that was a very smart move, in my opinion, by Greg Popovich, because he did 2 things. One, he showed when you're a San Antonio Spur, you're always a San Antonio Spur. We're not going to have people talk shit about you. That ain't happening. Then he also told them, this is old news. This is not even nothing to be talking about. Basically, don't stop asking me questions about this shit. That's basically what he said to them, but very nicely. Like, look, man, I'm not talking about this shit no more, man. This is retarded. That's basically what he said, but in a very, very nice way. But very stern. It's insane to think that a guy who doesn't talk, a guy who whatever you ask him to do, he does it like 99% of the time. And the one time that he says, look, man, I just can't take this shit no more. Now you're trying to say, this is that slave mentality. Yes, I get it. He's rich. He's a millionaire. They paying him all that money. He better go to work. Nah, see, it's not like that. I know everybody thinks it's like that. That's the same thing they said about Isaiah Thomas when he was playing for Boston, right? And now that costed him at least $100 million. Right now, Isaiah Thomas is playing for like a $2 million fucking salary when he should have got a max deal. It cost him over $100 million. Look, man, a rich nigga can't understand a broke nigga life. And a broke nigga can't understand a rich nigga life. Alright? These are some rich niggas. You can't understand their life. We some average broke niggas. And when I say average broke, I mean, my dude, if you ain't making $250K, if you ain't making $250,000 a year, you an average broke nigga compared to these guys. These guys is making, some of them is making over $250K in a game. But maybe that's an exaggeration, but you get the point. They're making over $250K a week. So just stop it. People, us regular normal people, let's stop trying to make like we know what's good for a millionaire. With that being said, us regular black people, let's stop acting like we know what's good for regular white people. Regular white people, let's stop acting like we know what's good for regular black people. Regular people or whatever freaking demographic you are, and I'm not just saying demographic as far as nationality, I also mean price range. Economic stability, like however, like how much money you make in a year or whatever the case might be in your household or whatever the case. Stop acting like you know what somebody else is going through. People that's in marriages, stop acting like you know what it is to be single. People that's single, stop acting like you got good advice for these people that's in relationships. People, mind your damn business and stay in your lane. How about that? Anyway, I'm just really going off on some other stuff. Look, we don't know how much money an athlete can lose by playing when they're injured and then exacerbating that injury to the point where it's an impossibility for them to become the player that they could have been. That's all I'm saying. Let me know what y'all guys think about this. Leave it down in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. That's all I got on this one. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgot about you. I'm out. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like to help dictate the direction that this channel takes, please leave a comment. All comments are appreciated, whether positive or negative. Thank you very much and enjoy your day. And remember, positive thoughts cause for positive things to happen. Let's get it.